Hello there. Welcome to Just the Discs. We talk about Blu-rays here. And, of course, one of the big events, every year for us collectors is the Black Friday sale at Vinegar Syndrome and the Halfway to Black Friday sale. And last year, I was a subscriber. And so I didn't, even though I think that's the thing, being a subscriber, you got some discounts on the partner label stuff, so I didn't always go nuts during the sales. But this year, for the first time in a couple years, I decided to pull back on my subscription, so I'm not a subscriber this year, which, I have mixed feelings about in terms of regret, but just trying to cut back on my spending a little bit, and just been keeping track of how much I spend on Vinegar Syndrome, and if it ends up tallying more than, the 900 plus bucks, which it isn't going to, I don't think. I've just been scaling back in general. But that said, I did go a little nuts on the Halfway to Black Friday sale, and I'm just going to do a quick video on what I picked up. Just real breezy stuff. So first was Decoder, featuring music by Soft Cell. People were talking about this one, and this is one that I think I even had and got rid of, and I don't know why. But an underground hit from Germany's punk and new wave infused youth culture of the early 80s. Director Mushka's Decoder blends arresting visuals, urban industrial aesthetics, science fiction, and moments of shocking violence alongside searing commentary on the late 20th century consumerist culture, co-starring punk icon Christian Felschernau and William S. Burroughs in a supporting role, and featuring music by Soft Cell. The industrial pioneers, proud to bring this criminally underseen masterpiece of German weirdness to Blu-ray, brand new 2K restoration from a 16 camera negative. And lots of features on it. You'll notice one thing I definitely did, and it was a very conscious effort on my part, was I went with no slips for any of the stuff I got, just because, it was adding anywhere around $5 a title. And, I get the love of slipcovers. I'm into slipcovers. I enjoy them. I don't quite go as nuts for them as some folks. I don't throw them out like I've heard some people do. I'm sure they don't throw out Vinegar Syndrome slipcovers. But that said, I just was looking at the tally, and I was like, if I'm going to spend this much money at $5 a title, it's going to cost me like 2 or 3 more discs, basically. So I just went no slip, which I know is not everybody's first choice. But anyway, so this is a Vinegar Syndrome proper title. This is a partner label title. This is from Factory 25, Funny Haha, Andrew Bujalski's film. I'm a fan of him. Was this his debut film? Marnie is 23 and wandering the earth, perhaps in search of romance or employment, or perhaps just avoiding both. Mostly she's just trying to keep her sense of humor as a constellation of friends and would-be lovers engage her in their own post-collegiate flailing around her. Rarely have the loose, shaggy ramblings of young adulthood felt so alive and uncanny on screen. Shot on 16mm and originally released in 2002, Funny Haha is a simple film, straightforwardly composed, but its peculiar rhythms and unexpected cross currents will always reward repeat viewings. This is a 2023 restoration, includes a conversation with Andrew Bujalski and Kit Zauer, creature feature intro with Andrew Bujalski and Alex Karpovsky, experimental title sequence, 20-page booklet with essays by Chuck Klosterman, Tao Lin, and notes by Bujalski himself. I wish I had a commentary, but I don't need it. I'm just a fan of his stuff, computer chess and Support the Girls and all that. I just think he's a very interesting voice, and I've seen this, but I just wanted to pick up the Blu-ray. Like I said, it's early on. If it's not his first movie, it's really near the front. I use this opportunity to catch up on my VHS Hitfest collection. I got Psycho Paul's Film Festival and Vile 21. Both, of course, completely off my radar. No idea what either of them are in terms of, like, I hadn't heard of them, but I definitely trust the folks at VHS Hitfest to bring out interesting stuff. So, a bloody, sadistically funny satire of cheap horror exploitation film, Psycho Paul, a sinister, egotistical filmmaker, introduces previews and scenes from his films as a tribute to himself. He believes that his films are the greatest and worst films ever made. And this is before Paul Van Delzen lent his skills to some of Todd Sheets' classic SOV films. He turned the camera on himself, his brother, and his mom, and made one of the most mind-meltingly absurd movies ever released. Trust us, you have never seen another movie like this. VHS Hitfest is proud to present this mesmerizing outsider art epic for the first time ever on disc, complete with hours of extras, and it does have a ton. Introduction by Psycho Paul, commentary by filmmakers, archival Todd Sheets and Paul Van Den Elzen interview, new Todd Sheets interview. Todd Sheets is a guy I haven't seen a lot of his stuff. I know a lot of people talk about him and enjoying his low-budget work, but and Psycho Story, the making of Psycho Paul's Film Festival. Hours of raw footage. They really do it right there. And then Vial 21, I know that the cover had like an alligator on it, or the slip did. When Dr. Walter Hall creates a drug that turns men into unstoppable beasts, the government will stop at nothing to get it. Forced by the pressure of authority, Dr. Hall injects John, an unsuspecting bum, and unleashes terror on the community. 5 days in one man's life gives him an eternity in hell. When he reopened an old experiment, he reopens Vial 21. Made in the mid-90s, special effects veteran Mike Strain Jr., Vial 21 is an SFX tour de force of creatures, gore, stop motion, and rubber masks. VHS Hitfest is beyond excited to bring this regional obscurity to disc for the first time in a new edited transferred from the original master. Note this film was shot and edited on video. Please be advised that the transfer quality is confined to the limitations of that format. Good to know. I appreciate that insight. Original VHS cut, brand new special edition cut transferred from the original master. Audio commentary by Mike Strain Jr., audio commentary by Ronnie Sorter, Genetic Monster, The Making of Vial 21, behind the scenes, bonus film, Hotel of Terror. Very cool. I think I'll continue to grab their stuff at the sales if I can. So, next group I got from Yellow Veil as a compliment to this. Now, this I bought brand new, I think when I was a subscriber. This is the Sargasso manuscript by Chick Jos. And this is one that I know Scorsese and Jerry Garcia are fans of. Has like crazy flashbacks within flashbacks. Very interesting film that I was like, I got to get a Blu-ray of that. So I had that. But then there was a couple other Chick Jos films from Yellow Veil, including The Hourglass Sanatorium and also How to Be Loved. Now these are from 1973 and 1963. Sargasso is from, I want to say 60-something. 65. So this fits right in between these two. Yeah, I'm not even going to go through these because I know these are just weird. Are they Czech films? I can't remember what their origination is, but I just wanted to get them. I didn't realize I saw they'd come out, but later, like I miss sometimes the Yellow Veil releases for some reason, so I wanted to catch up and have a couple. I have a trilogy of Chick Jos films. I grabbed from the film desk, Vengeance is Mine, which I had watched on Criterion Channel. Fascinating film. I'm curious how they... returning to her East Coast childhood home to heal old familial wounds, Jo Brooke Adams of Days of Heaven and Invasion of the Body Snatchers finds her adoptive mother withdrawn and distant and half-sister who has successfully escaped the cold clutches of their family impulsively. Jo enters into the troubled life of the neighbors, befriending a couple whose marriage is collapsing under the weight of alcoholism and mental illness. Recently discovered after being unseen for nearly 40 years, Vengeance in His Mind has received a rapturous response when receiving its theatrical premiere in 2022, known for Nothing But a Man, which came out from Criterion, and The Plot Against Harry, which I think Film Desk just put out now again. Not again, but like, so now you can get all of director Michael Romer's movies, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. He didn't do a lot, but this is the same director as Nothing But a Man, if you're familiar with that. Has added a third film to his filmography, an utterly original American independent masterpiece. This film is really hard to describe because it's dark and it goes way darker than I thought, almost to the point where it becomes like a thriller when she's dealing with the neighbor, and the neighbor is played by, is it Trish Vanderveer, I think? You know, it seems like it's going good, and then Trish Vanderveer is really struggling with some mental illness stuff, and things get dark. And I've never seen Brooke Adams in a role like this. It feels like somewhere between like Claudia Weil, Girlfriends, and John Sayles' Seek Office 7 in terms of the aesthetics, but in terms of the tone, it's darker than both of them, and just powerful stuff, like compelling and edge your seat in a way that I wouldn't expect a low-budget film to be. And anyway, this has a Q&A with writer-director Michael Romer and Brooke Adams, moderated by Bilge Ebiri, and a booklet featuring interviews with director Michael Romer and star Brooke Adams. But definitely a discovery for me this year, this one. It'll come up on the Pure Cinema pod at some point. Shame, this is an Elric Kane favorite, so I had to grab it. This is an Umbrella release. A stranger, Asta Cadell, Deborah Lee Furness, limps into an outback town on a crippled motorcycle, trapped while she waits for repairs. Asta stays at the garage of Tim Curtis, Tony Barry. The outsider soon discovers that Tim's young daughter, Lizzie Simone Buchanan, is the latest victim of the local sport, gang rape. Some of the women are intimidated, others make excuses, and the law looks the other way, but nothing ever changes. Attacked herself, Asta is drawn into the struggle of the town's women for safety and dignity. Emboldened by her, Lizzie lays charges and all hell breaks loose. The women rise up, but resistance is never that easy or that simple. I know it's a complicated rape revenge movie, and it sounds intense, but I know Elric's a big fan of it. And so I just wanted to check it out. And this Blu-ray seemed a good way, and it was one of the cheaper ones I got. Lastly, as part of my haul, I got Falcon Lake. This is also Yellow Veil. Another one that Elric's been talking about forever, but also a lot of people I know and respect have talked about how great this film is. It's one of their favorites from, last year. I still haven't seen it. I think partially because I was kind of waiting to grab this at some point, and now I have it, so I will watch it soon. Just has behind-the-scenes featurette, storyboard to scene featurette, essay by film critic Jessica Kiang. But, this is just like a coming-of-age... I'm sure a lot of you know this one. Coming-of-age story sort of thing. Gothic ghost thing happening. I'm not going to get into details if you haven't seen it, but definitely one that I wanted to grab. So that's all that my haul. Now, I'd already done the pre-order, so I'll go through this stuff a little quicker. But the pre-order included Homegrown Horrors Volume 3, which for my money is one of my favorite of the continuing box sets. I prefer it to the Forgotten Gialli box sets in terms of the kind of stuff I'm into more. And I don't know, I can't explain it, but this regional stuff, I don't know. I don't know these films. Haunted Ween, Deadly Love, and Revenge. Haunted Ween I know of, and I may have seen, and it may be garbage, but I just love the regional passion quality of these films. And so I tend to be drawn to pick up the Homegrown Horrors. Plus, one of my favorite discoveries was Beyond Dreams Door. I think I'm saying that right, from the first set. I really love that movie. So I'm kind of always on the hunt for another one of those. I don't know if another one of those exists, but maybe Deadly Love or Revenge could be one of those. But I do like these sets. So I'm going to dig into this soon, I think. And then, of course, also included with the pre-order, or with the mystery titles, as it were the Invasion USA 4K, which is a pretty nutty movie. Has one of the most, maybe the showstopper crotch shooting scene of any movie I've ever seen. Pretty great. Goes by so fast, you just have to go like, wait, what just happened? Literally, you will say that to yourself if you haven't seen this. But yeah, Richard Lynch, Chuck Norris, crazy stuff happening in this movie. Crazy action, and now in 4K. And I didn't even look at the features, but 107-minute feature presentation presented in HDR, newly scanned, 35 camera negative. Brand new commentary track with Joseph Zito. Brand new commentary track with Austin Trunick, author of the Canon Film Guide. I'm a big fan of Austin. He's a nice guy and puts out some good books. Archival commentary track with Joseph Zito and Michael Felsher, so you get two commentaries. Also the Blu-ray Interview with Joseph Zito, Writing the Real Thing, interview with Invasion with screenwriter James Bruner, Stories We're Telling, interview with editor Dan Lowenthal, Heroic Moments, interview with composer Jay Chataway. I like Jay Chataway. Loose Cannons, archival interview with screenwriter James Bruner. Lots of stuff. As usual, a great 4K release from Vinegar Syndrome. Then, of course, we have Satan's Black Wedding and Criminally Insane. This is a Blu-ray of both of these films. In the annals of the 1970s regional filmmaking, Nick Millard carved out a niche with his extremely low-budget yet highly artistic horror and action movies. Presented here are two of his seminal works offered as a double feature, just as they originally screened in drive-ins and grindhouses across America. Ethan Jankowski has just been released from an asylum. Ethel Jankowski, where both violent and suicidal tendencies had kept her under medical supervision, deemed, quote, cured, save for her severe weight problem. She moves in with her grandmother, who, under doctor's orders, locks up the household's food supply to prevent Ethel from continuing to gorge herself. However, Ethel's raging appetite cannot be contained, and as visitors to the house begin discovering her growing stash of snacks, she has no choice but to violently kill them and hide their remains. Don't look for Ethel's snacks. Just let her have her Doritos, please. A charmingly depraved proto-slasher anchored by captivating performance from its literally and figuratively larger-than-life star, Priscilla Alden. Director Nick Millard's cult favorite, Criminally Insane, burst with wild plot twists, regional charm, and plenty of gruesome kills. I've been wanting to see that one for a long time. I have a really crappy DVD of it that I've been kind of holding off on because I was like, there's got to be a better version of this at some point, right? And obviously this is it. So Mark Gray is reeling from the horrible news that his sister, Nina, has committed suicide. Searching for answers, he travels to the secluded forest surrounded town in which she lived. Unsettled by the frosty, almost ghost-like demeanor of the locals, Mark begins to suspect that there might be something more sinister behind his sister's death, only to discover that the town itself is a coven of vampires. With more than its fair share of bright red bloody kills, Nick Millard's sophomore horror feature, Satan's Black Wedding, is a tightly constructed and incredibly atmospheric regional vampire thriller skillfully crafted from the Italian Gothic tradition, despite its Northern California locales. Both have been meticulously restored in 4K and their long lost 16mm camera reversal elements, not negatives, and are making worldwide Blu-ray debut from Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, Satan's Black Wedding was part of the DVD set that I had, but I'm glad to have both of them here. I do like it when they do that. They salute sort of one filmmaker. It looks like brand new commentary track by film historians Millie DeChirico and Liz Purcell, and archival commentary track with director Nick Millard and Ermi Millard, moderated by 42nd Street Pete. That's on Criminally Insane. Criminally Insane is 137-1, and Satan's Black Wedding is 185. Following options. Brand new commentary track by Brian Albright, author of Regional Horror Films 1958 to 1990. Well, I got to get that book, clearly. And an archival commentary track with director Nick Millard and Ermi Millard, moderated by 42nd Street Pete. Remains to be seen featurette produced by Vinegar Syndrome on preserving the films. Right out of left field, 48 minutes, author Stephen Thrower on Criminally Insane, Satan's Black Wedding, and the early filmography of Nick Millard. Well, I can't wait to dig into that. I love it when they get Stephen Thrower, one of the best. And archival featurettes with Nick Millard and actress Priscilla Alden on Criminally Insane, an interview with Millard for Satan's Black Wedding. Great stuff. Really nicely done. Sounds like a nice release. And then the one other that I grabbed that wasn't part of the package was the VSA, The Instructor. I don't know anything about this movie, but it looked entertaining enough and interesting enough. I can't remember what I read it compared to, but if it was like going to be like a Death Promise or you know what it was there's a regional, not hit squad, but it's Kill Squad, I think. Somebody compared it to that. Instructor, played by real-life martial artist Bob Cheney, runs a local karate school where he spends his days training his students in the art of self-defense, including his best friend Thumper. Since discovering his wife dead under mysterious circumstances, the instructor has vowed to only use his martial arts training for good in an attempt to overcome his desire for revenge. However, when a rival martial arts school run by a slimy Bud Hart begins engaging in crime and corruption, the instructor finds himself struggling to contain his anger and is pushed to a breaking point where Hart sets his sights on the instructor's students. After Thumper is mercilessly beaten in a locker room during a martial arts tournament, the instructor can no longer suppress his anger and sets out to take revenge on his evil rival. Regionally shot action extravaganza was the only film made by director Don Bendel and lead actor Bob Chaney. In the vein of films such as Champagne and Bullets and Death Promise, The Instructor is a low-budget tour de force that will leave you absolutely stunned. One of the most requested Vinegar Syndrome Archives titles of all time. We are proud to present The Instructor for the first time on Bluray, newly restored from director's own personal print and featuring some of the most jaw-dropping fight scenes ever filmed. This one is truly unlike anything you've ever seen. All right, I'm with it. Commentary track with writer director Don Bendel. Journey to Akron, The Making of The Instructor, 25 minutes. Booklet essay with film historian Richard Heldenfels. Yeah, so I haven't picked up a VSA in a little bit. I've just been kind of biding my time with those, but this one looked like a good place to return. And last but certainly not least, I've become kind of a socks guy in my old age. So I picked up the Vinegar Syndrome socks. Can't wait to try these on. They look very cozy. But anyway, that's all I picked up during the Halfway to Black Friday sale. In the comments below, let me know what you picked up. There was so much to choose from, so all our hauls are going to be very different. All the videos are going to be different, so I'm sure I'm going to have to check out some other folks' haul videos to see what they picked up. But I'm looking forward to checking out some of this stuff that I haven't seen from those partner labels and such. And Homegrown Horrors, definitely. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.